Hello, my friends. I want to tell all of you something that is really important to me today. I just had a great conversation with someone and was able to bring this up into light. So, and this applies whether you're working with me or not, but I want to explain to you guys what the purpose of coaching is, at least the way I do it. That's the perspective I'm going to offer you because I'm me. So oftentimes when we are in limbic impairment recovery, we are pretty used to being in a state where we put out fires, right? We react, and when there's a problem, what I can tell that most folks in recovery see coaching as is emergency rescue. Either we have specific questions of things we can't figure out on our own, or we come to coaching when there's an emergency and we feel like we need to be rescued or pulled out of a situation that just is really stuck and really not working, and we're in crisis mode. And while if that's how you're seeing coaching, it can be used for that, but that's one of the least beneficial and powerful ways to use recovery coaching. And I'm going to tell you what I do. This is what's happening on my side of things when I work with people. So when I talk to my clients, all of you guys, because the human brain and the human person are as unique as every single fingerprint. And I cannot emphasize this enough, because I am not going to coach the idea of you. I'm going to coach you. And I can't do that if I don't know you. So the way limbic impairment is, and in some comments on my last video, we're bringing this to light. Everybody is so unique, not only in the different pieces of the puzzle that make up limbic impairment, but in what needs to be addressed first is different from person to person. There are a lot of pieces of this puzzle that are consistent, but the way they interplay in each person is unique. And I'm never going to sit down and, if you come to me with XYZ kind of predictable, typical limbic thing, be like, well, just do this and it's going to be fine. Because it's not always the case. I need to understand you and your history and the expression and how your limbic system communicates, and what's shaping this and what things mean to you. And again, I would probably have to talk for 12 hours to put all of that into words. But I just want to put this out there that, because I will say this up front, I hate being salesy, and I do not really do this to make money. But I want to emphasize that consistent coaching, what that gives me the chance to do, what I'm doing in the background, if you work with me more consistently when you aren't in crisis mode, is I get the chance to understand you and your limbic system. And I'm mapping out your inner landscape. Every time we talk, I fill it in a little more. And if you're always in crisis mode when we're talking, it's a little harder for me to do that. I can still work with that, that's fine. But the frequency is part of it. Whereas my goal is to really get a deep understanding of you as a whole, your personality, the parts of you that are authentic, what comes from trauma, where your nervous system's at, the way you respond to different tools, so I can really understand you very deeply and very accurately, so that when you come to me in a crisis, I can throw a dart and it hits the center the first time. And bam, you're out of crisis in 5 minutes, instead of fumbling around for a half an hour, and maybe giving you a helpful tool and you're still pretty distressed when you leave the call. And that's something I just want to say, because one of my biggest beliefs and values in coaching is to respect your sovereignty. This is a journey that we are choosing to take. I know personally how hard it is to do this, something that you are only going to do if you really want it. And I respect that. So I don't reach out and tell people to come back and work with me more. I work very hard not to, because I have a lot of folks where I'm like, come back, we can do so much more. But I respect your journey. But I do want to just share this publicly, because it is something I deeply desire for my clients, is to be able to offer them a whole lot more that I cannot if I'm not getting the chance to understand how you work with just regular connection, regular calls, like weekly or bi-weekly calls, for a period of time, right? For a period of time, so I can get to know you, and then it spaces out and it becomes more as needed, and then you go on your way and you're recovered and I don't talk to you anymore. But there is so much more. There's so much ground that you can only break when you are already calm and you're not in crisis. So if you're working with me, or if you're considering working with me, or any other coach who operates this way, where it's not like a scripted question response, give your coach the chance to get to know you, and they will be able to give you mountains of gold that they would not have been able to if you only come to them when you're in crisis. Love you guys.